The attractive red or purple flowered striga, one of the most damaging weeds in sorghum, millet and maize, differs from all other weeds. Striga is a parasite that penetrates the roots of cereal crops to suck their juice and nutrients. In this video we'll learn why, on top of regular weeding, hand-pulling striga is crucial. What makes striga particularly dangerous is that a single plant can produce thousands of seeds. The seeds are so tiny that they look like black dust, which spreads easily with wind, runoff water, grazing animals, and contaminated crop seed. So be aware, even if your field has only a few striga plants, if you let them produce seed, there'll be many more striga weeds in the following years. Farmers in Nkala village in central Tanzania explain to us what they learned in their farmer field school.
It is important to pull striga with your hands before the time it produces seeds and spreads and destroys the crop in the coming season.
I hand pull the striga so as to protect my sorghum plants and for them to become strong, because striga is the enemy of the plant.
Kwa sababu kiduha ni adui wa mmea.
As the parasitic striga develops underground for up to 7 weeks, it appears later than other weeds, often after the second or third weeding, so it can still flower and produce seeds. Hand pulling is easier when we only have a few striga plants, so use different methods to reduce striga, such as intercropping or crop rotation with legumes and applying compost. With some vigilance, the damage can be avoided. As striga is best controlled before it flowers, how can we recognize it?
I recognize striga as it germinates near the base of the sorghum plant with the intention to suck food from it. So striga is simple to recognize because it shows up near the plant.
Striga easily breaks and resprouts, but there are ways to avoid it.
Ili kukizuia kiduha kisikatike.
To prevent the weed to break when hand pulled, I plow and harrow my land so that the soil becomes loose. I let the striga grow a little bit so that I can grab and remove it easily. Also, I wait for the rain to make the soil wet so that I can remove it easily without breaking.
Wakati mvua imenyesha, pana unyevu wa kutosha, unakitoa kwa urahisi ili kisikatike.
If striga already flowers by the time you hand pull, make sure you take it out of your field and destroy it.
Baada ya kung'oa kiduha,
after hand pulling the striga plants, I remove them from my field and throw them aside to burn, so that I prevent the spread of the striga seed and reduce the striga attack on my sorghum the next season.
Even after harvest, you should hand pull striga, as the stumps and roots of millet and sorghum plants can continue to support striga for a few more weeks. These striga plants will produce millions of seeds, causing terrible damage to your cereal crop the following seasons.
Because striga is dangerous for the crop, I advise that you do not leave it in your field even in the dry season. Even after I finish harvesting, when I let my animals graze, if I see striga, I must remove it because it is dangerous. It is dangerous because it continues producing seeds, and the following season you will have so many striga weeds in your field.
If for some reason you failed to intervene early when striga infestation was still low, you'll end up with lots of striga plants, and hand pulling becomes harder. In that case, You'd better reduce the number of Striga plants by applying compost or manure and by rotating or intercropping with non-cereal crops such as cowpea. In combination with these practices, hand pulling becomes less laborious. Farmers in Nkalakala village join hands to reduce the drudgery of hand pulling. Their community effort also helps them avoid spreading Striga seeds to neighbouring fields.
Kwa kweli tunafanya kazi kwa pamoja ili kile kidua kisiendelee.
We work together so that Striga does not continue flowering and attack the crop. Also to finish weeding faster and easier to prevent the Striga weeds from spreading their seeds. We work together in unity to hand pull Striga to strengthen the togetherness of the community.
Huwa tunatumia njia shirikishi, unaalika majirani, unatengeneza chakula.
We invite our neighbors and prepare food as they come to help weed our field. It makes the work easier to fight the enemy Striga than doing it alone. So, you finish the weeding faster and you deny Striga the freedom to spread.
Kwa sababu utakuwa umemzingira kwa muda mfupi.
So, what have we learnt? Observe your field as Striga appears after all other weeds. Hand pull Striga before it flowers to keep it from producing thousands of tiny seeds. Make sure you pull the entire plant as it breaks easily and resprouts. Always combine any of the other Striga control methods with hand pulling for effective control. Because by controlling Striga, you'll have a better crop.